The rain pounded against the windows of that upscale Manhattan restaurant, mirroring the storm building inside me. I sat there, Emily Hayes, 35, pretending to be just another software developer scraping by in the city that never sleeps. My fork hovered over the untouched salmon, while my mother, Karen, prattled on about my younger sister, Brittany's latest breakthrough. Brittany, 31, the eternal dreamer chasing TikTok fame, sat across from me, her perfectly manicured nails tapping her phone screen. Dad, Richard, nursed his scotch, his eyes distant as always. Emily, honey, did you see Brittany's new collab? She's partnering with this makeup brand, could be huge, Mom gushed, shoving her phone under my nose. The video showed Brittany in a sun-drenched loft, laughing as she applied lipstick, captioning it, "Living my best life influencer goals." I nodded faintly, pushing the phone back. Looks great. But inside, the knot tightened. For years, I'd been their invisible lifeline, funneling money into Brittany's endless investments while hiding my own success. I'd built Nexus Tech Solutions from a basement startup into a multi-million-dollar firm specializing in AI-driven apps, with investments in Brooklyn real estate worth $2.5 million and silent stakes in 2 trendy cafes, pulling in $400,000 yearly passive income. But to them, I was still the reliable one, living in a walk-up apartment, driving a beat-up Honda, all to avoid the vultures. The conversation veered, as it always did, to money. "The thing is," Mom said, her voice dropping to that manipulative whisper, "Brittany's current place is cramping her style. She needs something in Soho, better for shooting content. The deposit's $5,000. Though." Brittany looked up, batting her lashes. "It's temporary. Once I hit 500K followers, the brand deals will roll in. You know how it is." I knew all too well. I'd already loaned her $25,000 for her failed podcast equipment, covered her $3,000 monthly rent for 2 years, and watched it all vanish into brunches and Botox. Repayment? A myth. "I can't this time," I said quietly, my voice steady but my heart racing. The table froze. Brittany's boyfriend, Derek, a stock trader who mysteriously never chipped in, shifted uncomfortably. Mom's eyes narrowed. "What do you mean? Can't? Family sticks together. We've sacrificed so much for you girls." Sacrificed? Like how they'd favored Brittany since we were kids, praising her creativity while dismissing my straight A's as boring. The resentment I'd buried for decades simmered. "I mean, I won't. I have my own bills, my own future." Dad finally spoke, his tone laced with that familiar disdain. "Always so selfish. Emily, Brittany's on the cusp. Don't drag her down with your jealousy." That's when the dam broke. Mom slammed her wine glass down, the red liquid spilling like blood across the white tablecloth. "Pay up or get out of this family," she hissed, loud enough for the neighboring tables to hush. Heads turned. My cheeks burned, but I held her gaze. "No." In a blur, Dad lunged forward, his hand cracking across my face with a sharp sting that echoed through the room. "You worthless ingrate," he snarled, spittle flying. The restaurant fell silent. Waitstaff frozen, patrons staring in horror. My cousin Sarah gaped from across the table. Tears pricked my eyes, not from the pain, but the raw betrayal, the public stripping of my dignity. I stood slowly, grabbed my coat, and walked out into the downpour, the door chiming behind me like a final judgment. Leaning against my car in the lot, rain soaking through my blouse, I felt the years of silence fracture. Texts flooded in. "Moms, you're dead to us if you don't apologize." Brittany's, "How could you ruin dinner?" I stared at the screen, the drops blurring the words. And something inside me shifted, not to rage, but to cold, calculated resolve. They thought I was weak, broke, expendable. They had no idea. That night, in my actual home, a sleek Tribeca loft I'd kept secret, I paced the floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the Hudson. The city lights twinkled mockingly, reminding me of the facade I'd maintained. Why hide? Because I knew revelation would unleash endless demands, guilt trips woven into every conversation. But now, the slap had severed the last thread of loyalty. I poured a glass of wine, sat at my desk, and began. First, the documentation, bank records of every transfer, totaling $45,000 over 3 years. Screenshots of Brittany's pleas just this once. Sis, followed by her Instagram flaunting luxury bags. Emails from mom berating me for not supporting family dreams. I hired a PI the next day, who tailed Brittany, capturing photos of her at high-end spas and rooftop parties, all while she texted me sob stories about struggling. The emotional toll hit harder in the quiet moments, nights replaying childhood memories, where Brittany's tantrums always won, leaving me the good girl who swallowed her hurt. Therapy sessions unpacked it, the imprints of neglect, the betrayal of parents who saw me as a wallet, not a daughter. But action dulled the ache. I met with Langford and Associates, elite family law specialists in Midtown. MS. Hayes, attorney Elena Langford said, reviewing my files. This is textbook coercion and exploitation. With the assault video, your cousin recorded it. We can build a case for emotional damages too. I nodded. I want more than money back. I want out. Permanently. The opportunity arose. Brittany's milestone party. A lavish bash at the Plaza Hotel to celebrate hitting 100K followers. Set for 2 weeks later. Invites went to family, friends, and industry connections, a perfect stage. Preparation consumed me. The PI's report detailed Brittany's fraud, claiming unemployment while raking in undeclared sponsorships. Witnesses from old family events corroborated the favoritism. The subtle digs at my mediocrity. I drafted a no-contact plan, froze joint accounts I'd forgotten about, and consulted a financial planner to shield my assets. Nexus Tech's patents alone generated $60,000 annually. Messages bombarded me, Dad's voicemails growling apologies laced with demands. Mom's guilt bombs. We gave you everything, now you're abandoning us? Brittany's passive-aggressive stories about fake family. I replied to none, letting the silence scream my intent. The night before the party. In my loft's dim glow, I rehearsed my speech before a mirror, the $5,000 emerald gown hanging like armor. Sleep came easy, unburdened by dread. The plaza's grand ballroom shimmered under chandeliers, champagne flutes clinking amid 200 guests. Influencers posed. Family mingled. Oblivious. I arrived fashionably late, the gown hugging my frame. Turning heads. Whispers followed. Is that Emily? She looks different. Mom approached, her smile plastic. Didn't expect you. Brittany will be thrilled. Wouldn't miss it, I said coolly. Brittany, in a sparkling mini dress, faltered upon seeing me but recovered with a fake hug. That dress, wow. Where'd you get the money? Savings, I replied, my smile sharp. Unlike some. Before she could probe, the toasts began. Dad took the mic to Brittany, our star. We've always believed in her. I signaled the AV tech I'd tipped handsomely, slipping him my prepared drive. Stepping up, I interrupted before we toast. A family tribute. They beamed, assuming surrender. The screen lit, not Brittany's highlight reel, but damning texts, Mom demanding $3,000. Me protesting. Her reply, do it or you're no daughter. Murmurs rippled. Next, transfer logs. $45,000 highlighted. Brittany's lavish posts juxtaposed. Gasps. Then the video, dad slap. His venomous words. The room iced over. What is this? Brittany shrieked, lunging for the remote. I held the mic firm. This is truth. Years of using me, betraying me, while I hid my success to escape your greed. Nexus Tech? Mine. The real estate? Mine. I'm done funding your illusions. Chaos erupted. Mom collapsed into a chair, whispering denials. Dad roared. This is private. Brittany sobbed theatrically. She's jealous. It's all lies. Guests filmed. Whispers turned to accusations. Aunt Louise stood. I saw how you treated Emily. Shame on you. The betrayal stung them now. Their perfect image shattering. I walked out amid the frenzy. Head high. Cousin Sarah whispering. You're free. Outside. The city air cleansed the toxicity. Weeks later. Fallout reigned. Brittany's followers plummeted by 70,000. Deals vanished. Parents' marriage imploded in blame, mom accusing dad of weakness. Him fleeing to a motel. I sued for $600,000 exploitation. Assault. Slander. Evidence buried them. They settled. Signing no-contact orders for a fraction. I expanded Nexus to San Francisco. Dated Alex, a fellow entrepreneur who saw my scars as strength. On the slap's anniversary. From my Bay Area balcony, wine in hand, I toasted solitude's peace. The price? Isolation's echo. Therapy's ongoing war with trust. But freedom's value eclipsed it all. Sometimes, revenge isn't sweet, it's necessary survival.